Hello, Facebook. How are you guys doing? Happy Friday. Today, I'm excited to talk about a couple of new things. Well, actually, I guess it's sort of one new thing that we've built for you in Sprout. It's something that I thought it would probably make a lot more sense to come live, to hang out with you here, to talk with you, and to kind of just run you through these things. We had some really, really good conversations this week. This was this week. It's one of those weeks. We we had some really good conversations this week. Hey, if you're there, hey Vernon, this week in the Facebook group, and I just thought it would be really helpful to hop on and chat about it because sometimes I think it's easy to have things misconstrued when we're all going back and forth in text. And I think this is a good lesson to take forward even in your own business. Sometimes email, text, Facebook Messenger, whatever, Instagram Messenger, sometimes those things can get misread, misinterpreted by both you and your clients. Text-based communication is never really great for communicating proper intent. It's great. It has its place. But I thought that it would be neat to hop in here and just have a real good chat with you guys. I think my speakers are a little bit too loud. Turn that down. Let me know you guys are there. I'm excited to show this to you. So basically, here's the idea. Hey, Marcus. The idea is that currently in Sprout for booking pages, so if you're using, hey, Lauren, hey, how's it going? Happy Friday to you guys. If you're currently using booking pages in Sprout, so you're doing mini sessions, let's kind of use mini sessions as the framework for this because that's kind of how it all came up. So you're using booking pages for mini sessions, and you're using an invitation for your booking pages. The way that it currently works in Sprout, way that it works right now for you in Sprout, is that as soon as someone comes through they choose a time, say they choose Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning, they walk through, they pick a package, they get to the contract. Basically, as soon as they get to the contract, that date and time that they just picked is sort of like held for them. And that's because in the back end, what's happening is the lead gets created, and technically now they have an open booking proposal in terms of the system is concerned because they're at the contract stage. They're about to sign a contract. And so in Sprout, whenever you have a lead that has an open booking proposal, we sort of like reserve that in your calendar for you. Because if you've talked with a wedding couple and they've said, yeah, we're good to go, and you've gotten to the point that you're going to send them a booking proposal, at that point, it probably makes sense to like flag you if someone else calls you and says, "Hey, are you available for this date?" It should show up as a conflict for you because you've now sent this proposal out to you. That's how we kind of get rid of those double bookings or those really awkward customer experience situations. And so that's just like the infrastructure of Sprout. That's how it works. If you have a lead with a booking proposal that's been sent, then we kind of mark the date as reserved for you. However, in the context of mini sessions, we've heard from some users that they don't like how that works. It works in some situations, and some users actually are happy to have it work that way. That was the feedback we got when we first built invitations and booking pages. But some users aren't happy with that. And so that's what sort of spawned that whole conversation. And you guys know, like, again, you need to understand, this is where I think that it's really useful to come through and talk like this. We love hearing feedback from you guys. Like, we genuinely, we build everything in Sprout is built for you guys. That's why we exist. That's why I hope that you guys are, sticking with us through these conversations, because we want Sprout to be a tool that's really, really helpful and really useful and really productive and just a really good piece of your business. Certainly, there's always going to be workarounds for any software tool. I mean, I have workarounds for Mac OS, for crying out loud. So there's always going to be things that aren't like exactly how you want them. Is the way it is. That's the way that software works. Hey, Katie. That's just the way that software works. That's unfortunately, we have to please thousands and thousands of photographers across a variety of different kinds of niches. And so it's not going to be perfect for every single one of you in every single situation. There's going to have to be some adapting in some capacity. I'm just going to go here and look through the thing here. So the challenge, yeah. So Amber, that's totally that's what we're talking about here, right? So that's kind of the conversation. So, anyways, long story short, conversation went on, and we had some really, really good dialogue. And we went basically took that feedback and we said, okay, let's try and find a better way to give you the control that you want so that it works for those photographers who are happy to have it work the way that it's working right now. But then so there's a bit more flexibility for those of you who want to maybe have it work a little bit differently. And so we did go back to the drawing board and we came up with a really good solution that I think is really going to make everybody happy. It kind of covers all different situations, all different scenarios. And that's kind of what I want to walk you through here. So here's the idea and concept, and would love to hear your feedback here. Would love to kind of see what you guys think. The idea in concept is this: when you are making a booking page, so you're setting up your fall minis, or you're setting up your Christmas minis, or your spring minis, whatever you're doing here. This is all in the context of minis, but you can use it however. You add in your invitation for the shoot date to let the client, choose one of your time slots on the Saturday, for example. When you add that invitation for the shoot date, you can now tell Sprout, hey, here's when I want you to reserve this date in my calendar. You now get to tell us when it gets reserved. So you can say, option 1, reserve it immediately. As soon as they pick that date, when they get to the contract, boom, it's reserved. Whether or not they pay, no matter how much time, it's reserved. That's how it's working right now. So if you want to keep working the way that it's working right now, no problem. You don't have to do anything different. It's all going to work the exact same. So you just say, basically, reserve this date immediately. Good to go. That works fine. The option 2 that you're going to have is to say, hey, I want you to reserve this date for X number of minutes. So you can say, hey, I want to give the client 10 minutes to wrap up what they're doing, and then they're good to go. And then it's going to be opened up for somebody else. So that's option 2. You can specify how long it's reserved for. And option 3 is going to be, hey, I only want this date reserved once my client has paid. If they haven't paid, it's fair game. Anyone can take it. Anyone can have it. It's not theirs until they pay. So those are basically those are the 3 options. And I want to actually walk you through using those and show you how that works, just to kind of get your feedback and see how that works. So I'm going to go in here and let's share my screen. There we go. So I have a booking page here. In fact, you know what? Because you're not going to be able to see where I'm trying to point out because my face is in the way. Get out of the way. There we go. Okay. So here's my booking page, and let's get this out of my way. There we go. So here's my booking page, and I've set up all this. I've set up my packages. Everything else is fine. Whatever. Over down here under invitation, I'm going to click add an invitation, and I'm going to say schedule the shoot date, and I'm going to choose my invitation. And I'm going to press save. Nothing's changed. That's all the same. But what you just noticed that came up just below here is this whole when to reserve the date toggle. So again, right now, by default, immediately is the exact same way that it works right now. So you don't have to do anything different. All of your existing booking pages will have this set by default. So nothing has changed from what you're used to. If you don't want to change it, you leave it. Nothing is different. If, however, you want option 2 that I talked about, which is countdown timer, then you click countdown timer. Now it explains what it does here, and you can set how long the countdown timer is for here. And I'm going to leave it at 1 minute just to kind of show you on the front end in just a moment. But right here, it basically says, after your client chooses a date and time and they get to the contract, a countdown timer begins. A lead is created and their date and time is reserved on your calendar. When the timer runs out, the lead is marked as closed. Their date and time is opened up, and they will have to start over. So that is the countdown timer option. I'm going to walk you through all these in the front end too in just a moment. But that's the countdown timer. And then the next one is once paid. So let's read this for a minute. Once your client chooses a date and time and they get to the contract, a lead is created. Nothing's changed there. Their date and time is not reserved in your calendar until they pay. You can choose to optionally automatically mark pending leads as closed after a specific period of time. So if you're basically, letting folks sit there and they're not considered as a booked client, they're not considered as reserving time in your calendar until they pay, Do you want Sprout to automatically come through and clean those up after X number of days? And that way you're not kind of led or left with all these open leads that you're not really sure what's happening. So you can say yes, and then you can say, hey, Sprout, go ahead and do it after 3 days, after 1 day, after whatever number of days it is. And that way we can hop in and kind of keep your account nice and tidy for you automatically. Now, the way that we're going to be doing all of this is using leads, or using leads and lead statuses, sorry. So for the countdown timer, you're still going to have that lead created, but it's going to be marked with a status of temporarily held, basically so that you can see on your lead list page, oh, look, these ones are like right now tentatively being held. And that way you can see. And then after the number of minutes here, we basically close it for you. We give it a reason for close, which is, I think it's like didn't complete booking or something. And then you're good to go. So you're none the wiser, but the leads are still there. They're closed. So if you do want to market to them, you're welcome to, and you can. The once paid will basically, again, have a lead created, and the status for the lead will be pending payment. And again, it can sit there forever as pending payment. It's never reserving time in your calendar. However, you can choose to automatically mark them as closed when you'd like as well. So that is the way that we have brainstormed this stuff for you guys. Trying to come up with a way for this to be, flexible, and for it to, let me change my thing here, for it to work for all of you in all the different situations that you imagined, in a way that didn't take us away from current projects for months and months and months, because we could do it in a different way, and we could build a whole other system and whatever. But like right now, you guys know we're working on lab integration. There's no surprise there. We're building lab integration, and we've got the team focused so heavily on lab integration that I didn't find it worthwhile to pivot from lab integration for months to make this any different than what you're seeing here. So what you're seeing here, I hope not no one I hope no one from the team is watching, but I kind of put the pressure on the team to say, like, let's brainstorm this, let's come up with this, and I brainstormed with the team, and I basically tasked them to say, like, we need to do this like ASAP, so that we can get back into lab integration. So I pivoted the team temporarily for the week to get this done. We're still kind of wrapping up a few little things in it, but I wanted it to be done in quickly for you guys, obviously, because it's fall time and you're all busy with booking mini sessions. But I wanted to bring the team back into lab integration, so I didn't want to distract them for months and months on end. So let's walk through how this all works. So let's start with immediately is the way it's going to work right now. You guys know how that works. So let's go with countdown timer. I'm going to leave this for 1 minute. I'm going to update the booking page here, and let's walk through the booking page. So at this point, obviously nothing is different. Nothing has changed. Just going to go ahead and walk through this. Let's just pick a time, Monday at 9 o'clock. Again, this is the same. Nothing's changed. Come in here. I'm just going to pick a package. Going to go back in here. Okay, so let's keep this in mind for a moment. Chase Gavin, right? Chase Gavin. I'm going to go ahead and click next. And while this is kind of doing its thing, I'm going to open up, where are we here? There we go. I'm going to open up my lead list page so that we can just kind of track what's happening with these statuses and everything. Hopefully I'm quick enough here. As I'm streaming here from my laptop from home Wi-Fi, I'm having some internet issues, but regardless, it's okay. So there's Chase Gavin, and you can see there's tentatively held. So it's tentatively held, and this date is reserved right now on my calendar. However, let me go here. So if I go to choose that same date and time, Monday at 9 o'clock, I should have made it 5 minutes because now I'm going to run out of time. I will not be able to, or I should not be able to choose that time. So good. I can't choose Monday 9 o'clock. We're good to go. If I come back here, you're seeing this little countdown timer in the top left. So there is a countdown timer. They can come in here. They have time. However much time you specify is the amount of time, obviously, that they have to pick to sign their contract, to make their payment, do all that. They click this, and it kind of lets them know what's happening. Tells them how much time they had at the beginning. So they had a minute. They kind of have all those details. I'm just going to let it sit here and let it run out because it's important that, so this is the BP or the booking page. Right now, I'm not able to book the time, and this is the lead. You can see here, if I go into here, it's tentatively held. So if I go over here, I'm going to let this timer run out. And there we go. So the timer runs out. It now says, hey, your date and time is released. Your 1 minute is up and your date and time have been released. You may start over to check if your date and time are still available, or you may choose a new date and time. So that now is like kind of like that whole Ticketmaster thing that you guys said that you were really looking for and that you really wanted, and they don't really have any other option. The only thing they can do now is press start over, and when they do that, it's going to refresh the page on them. So they can't even go with that original date and time anymore because their time is up. If I come back here in the back end of Sprout, I've got the lead still open here. If I refresh the lead will, well, actually, I don't know if it will on this server because I have to run a cron to do it. Regardless, the lead will have been, it's not right now. So the lead will have been closed, right? So right now you can see it's tentatively held. The lead will have been closed and it will have been given a closed reason let me see if I can... Bear with me for a minute. I'm gonna switch back to my face. You guys tell me how much you love this for a minute. I'm gonna go find that cron so I can run it for you because I want you to see what that looks like. I didn't have it prepared here for this video. So for a moment, tell me what you guys think while I go get this cron from one of my developers that had sent it to me. So I'm just gonna grab it quickly. Tell me how much you like it while I'm waiting. Here it is. Okay, so obviously you won't have to run this. StudioDev.com. You won't have to run this on production. This will run automatically. Oh, apparently I can't type. SproutStudioDev.com. There we go. Okay. So here we go. If I come back here, let's pretend that this last like 90 seconds didn't happen, okay? So we come back over here to our to our back end. I'm going to refresh. The time has run out and closed. So the lead is now closed. There is a reason here saying never completed bookings. So you know all the details. You actually even get to keep the original date and time that they picked just so that you can see it, you know what's happening, you know what they initially went through, what their intent was. But if I go, Chase Gavin is there. If I go to my main leads list page, they're now out of view, meaning they're not going to get in the way as people leave, abandon, don't finish these bookings. They're not going to be in your way, and you're not going to be left wondering why all these leads are here, but they are sitting right here for you. So you don't have to worry about them being deleted altogether. They're just not here for you. And of course, if I go through here, that date and time, Monday at 9 o'clock, I guess I'll have to refresh, will have been opened back up. So that time is basically re-released, and I can now get back in and choose that date and time. So if I click here, click continue, there's Monday, 9 o'clock. It's available again. So that's option number one. Let me just kind of tidy up some of these tabs here. That's option number one. Obviously, you can set the time to be whatever you want the time to be. So this is cool. You guys are liking it. Yes, this makes me happy. I'm glad that this is what you guys were looking for. Let's click this one. So once paid. I'm going to leave the auto close as off for now because it's not going to be relevant for this conversation. But basically now the date and time are not reserved until the client pays you. So if I go in here, I'm going to click update, and we are going to open this back up again. Now on this one, there's no countdown timer because there is no countdown timer. The date's not reserved until they pay. So if I go here, I'm going to go through. I'm going to pick that same date and time, Monday, 9 o'clock. Go through, choose a package. I don't know if you guys can hear through my microphone, but my computer, it sounds like an airplane is about to take off in my office right now. My computer is humming so loud. I think it's because I'm streaming while also utilizing this horrible internet. Anyways, okay, so right now if you remember, I chose Monday at 9 o'clock. If I go to this page as if I was another customer, I just emailed out this mini session booking and everything. If I come here, that Monday at 9 o'clock is still available. So it hasn't been removed from my availability. If I go back here on my leads list page, if I refresh, I forget what my name was. Who am I today? Riley Bailey. So I'm Riley Bailey. And as Riley Bailey here, let's take a look. You're going to see this. Here's Riley Bailey, and you can see the status is pending payment. So technically the lead's here, it's been created, but we're setting the status for you so that you know what's happening. This person has not paid, they've not booked, they're not good to go. It's still pending payment. Now let's see what happens here. If I go in over here, I'm now going to sign the contract. I'm Riley Bailey. If I click accept and pay, by the way, another little nice thing that we've done here, take a look, there's no X on this pay modal. So our clients can now no longer leave this, right? I know that was another conversation that we had where folks can come in here and they can just leave and they're not paid and you have to chase them. They can't leave this unless they literally close their browser. They can't press X. There's no way for them to leave this page now. I'm going to click continue. I'm going to go ahead and pay. Don't go on a shopping spree with this because this credit card number will not actually work. So for those of you screenshotting my credit card number right now, don't worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and click process, pay now. It's going, and we'll wait for it to come through. Perfect. Okay, so paid. If I now come back to Riley Bailey here, going to refresh, and now it's going to be a normal new lead the same way that it would have been before, but now the date and the time will be reserved in your calendar. So good, there we go. The status is new and we're all good to go. If I come in over here and if I refresh this, that date and time are now no longer available because the date is kind of blocked off by a client. Go get started. So there we go. It's not available. So those are the sort of little options that we've built in for you guys. Why don't we get pretty signatures like clients? Because the clients want it to look nice. You guys are just all about functionality, right? Something else I want to quickly just show you. I'm going to come in here and change this myself just for a moment because I want to show you something. If I go in here, this is something else that we built for you just as more of an FYI. If your clients get to a contract, if they sign a contract yet still haven't paid, we're going to give you a warning now at the top here that says, hey, this isn't I need to add, this is for me to add more text, so ignore this text. But we're going to warn you, basically saying like, hey, FYI, you can sign this contract, Mr. or Mrs. Photographer, but they're still waiting on payment. So you might want to hang tight on this. So we're trying to do everything that we can to give you the knowledge, the insight, and the information to make the right decisions. So there you go, guys. That is the new functionality. That's all the stuff that we built based on that conversation for you. We're almost done building it. My goal internally is to kind of hopefully get it out at some point in the next week for you. No promises. Don't hold me to that. My team's probably going to kill me for even saying that, but I'm just going to say we want to get this out as soon as we can for you guys, because obviously this is really important. Right now is busy booking time for you guys. And after that conversation there in the Facebook group, here in the Facebook group, it was pretty clear to us that some changes needed to happen, and we listen, guys. Like that's the thing. I want to make sure that you guys understand is like sometimes like there's a lot of things flying at us in a lot of different directions. Sometimes we can do things, sometimes we can't. Sometimes we just have to prioritize it, and that's a constant. Oh, Ashley, I'm glad that you're happy. Yay. That whole prioritization thing, it's not that I don't like saying no, right? Because I know what it's like. I'm a photographer too, guys. I've been a photographer for 15 years. I know what it's like. It's hard to prioritize everything. Like right now, the team is so focused on lab integration, and like, my gosh, you guys are going to be blown away. When I say lab integration, I think lab integration as a feature, like the actual lab integration, like part that you can automate ordering from a lab is like 1% of what we're actually building for you guys. Now, I don't want to say much more than that, but it's literally going to change like your productivity, your workflow, your order processing, your sales, your everything. It's going to increase sales. You're going to get more done quicker. It's going to be like process and business changing what we're building. I promise you. And if you're in the alpha feedback group, you've probably seen some of it, but you've only even seen the tip of the iceberg yourself. So you just wait, Mr. and Mrs. Photographer. We're building big, exciting things for you guys, and I've got the team so heavily focused on that feature that when we're in these big projects, when we're working on these big projects, yes, everyone wants something else done. I mean, obviously, right? Like we all want things done. I get it. I want things done. I want things, changed differently and all that. But it's about patience, and unfortunately for us, it's about prioritization. And sometimes that means saying no for now, right? We never say no forever. It's just no for now sometimes. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of hop on here to show you that and to explain that because sometimes it can come across as, us saying no, or if we're busy and we don't have a chance to respond to things, it looks like we're ignoring it. And that's definitely not the case. Like we are here, we are listening. We literally exist for you guys. Like the only reason that we do what we do is to build these like really, really cool tools for you guys. And so, we care so much about you guys. You guys are everything to us, and we so appreciate the conversations. We so appreciate the feedback. We love hearing different ways to do things. We try to build things the best way that we can for you, and we're trying to be very mindful of business processes and workflow and what it's like to run a photography business, because again, I've been there for 15 years. And we get feedback. I mean, that's the thing is like, as we're building features right now, we're in this alpha group for lab integration, and we're getting some really good feedback and conversations over there. But at the end of the day, it is just a small sample set of our users. So unless we can literally go and knock on every single one of yours doors to get like an approval on something, eventually, unfortunately, someone's going to want something that it wasn't done a certain way. So anyways, all that to say, we love you guys. Thank you guys so much for the feedback, for the conversation. And yeah, I mean, continue to give it to us. But it might be a no for now, for a little bit, because I really want to keep the team focused on the lab integration stuff that we're building. I promise you, it's going to be so well worth it. Anyways, for our Canadian friends, happy Thanksgiving weekend. This is a long weekend, so we're out on Monday, FYI, so support will not be available on Monday because it is Thanksgiving for us here in Canada land. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Otherwise, happy Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.